Yeah, I think after the lockdowns and all the kids who had to work from home, we could just call up a few parents. Mom and dad will be the first ones to tell us the struggles is real. If you cannot understand what you're reading, you cannot access the information that you need to use to do your schoolwork with. So those would be the first ones. But globally, we are really in a very dire situation. We are facing a tsunami of learning poverty, of illiteracy. Now, before the lockdowns, it was estimated that 100 million students globally would leave school by 2030 not having the skill sets to be relevant in a job situation. So they won't be able to function properly in a job situation. There are a number of international evaluations that's done, like PEARLS, etc., to evaluate the standard of literacy globally. And with the lockdowns, more than 90% of our learners was impacted in a negative way, and this will definitely have an influence on their reading skills development. The thing with reading is it does not develop automatically. So our brains have been wired for spoken language, but not for written language. And that's why when you teach a child how to read, it must be taught explicitly. There are certain skill sets and strategies that needs to be trained and needs to be developed and learned if we want to really acquire the levels of reading skills that's needed to function properly in the fourth industrial revolution. There's a lot of information available and a lot of discussions about the foundational phases of reading development. So the first years of learning to read is very important, and there's a lot that has been said about that. I think for today's purpose, let's just look at the important measurable aspects of developmental reading. So reading training shouldn't stop once we've learned how to read. Then we should continue to develop new skill sets and learn new strategies. And there are three measurable aspects that we look at with iBrain Gym. So the first one would be your eyes and the way that it moves when you're actually interacting with the information. And the science, or the more difficult word we would use to describe that would be your oculomotor functions when reading. The second one is the perceptual area, and this has to do with how we become aware of information around us and how we interpret that information to make sense of it. So that's another measurable area of reading skills. And then the final one is the cognitive or the comprehension area, the area where we can measure the output of what we've been interacting with now in higher order thinking skills or in lower order thinking skills. So there are different levels of understanding information. And so those three areas, there are international norms and standards for silent reading fluency that's been established, and we can use that to see how the reading skills are developed as we go through the sessions and the training, games and exercises, and that helps us to navigate the student or a user of the system as they work through their exercises. Now, silent fluency reading is the least taught skill in reading skills development, and it is the type of reading that is needed for learning purposes. So this is what we actually need once we leave school, we go to college, we go to university, or in the work environment, we have to learn new things. Silent fluency reading is the reading type of reading that we need to learn better. That's the beauty of iBrain Gym. So once you've done the placement module on the system, it clearly indicates what your skill sets are. And we have, as I said, the international norms and standards we can measure this against. With iBrain Gym, we have found that our users not only reach the international norms that is expected of them, but they even exceed that outcomes. So they do even better than what was expected once they've completed the training modules within iBrain Gym. So iBrain Gym is an online system, it's a web app, but it's got a built-in trainer. So the iBrain Gym system supports teachers, or it's a tool that teachers can use to develop these important foundational skill sets in their students right from first years of schooling up into tertiary levels and even further in the work environment, in a corporate environment. You can develop these skills and learn new strategies. You know, every phase of life there's new challenges that we have to face, and even if you change from one work environment to another, and that's where iBrain Gym can come in and bridge those gaps and help you to achieve or to reach the skills that you need to function properly. iBrain Gym has a built-in game plan, so your system will take you through the steps to decide which game plan works best for you, and then it ensures that you catch up if you maybe miss a session. You know, when we go to the gym, we've got to be consistent in our training, so you can't just do all your training in one day and expect to see a result. What we want to do with iBrain Gym is, as you go to a gym to train as well, there's certain sessions and certain intervals that we do these trainings, and if you can stick to your game plan that you and the coach have worked out together, you will see some really amazing results in the development that you will experience. Parents, I think it's now the time to go online just to do the placement, just to go and see where your son or your daughter are currently. Because once we know where we are, we can plot a route, we can chart a course to get where we need to be. So go online, ibraingym.com, do the place me, and we'll take it from there.